What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Useless League of Legends Information, episode 44. Let's go. Did you know that Jhin originally didn't have mana because they needed the bar below his health for his bullets instead? That's because back then when he was made, the secondary resource bar didn't actually exist yet. But he was so broken without mana that they ended up having to add it in. Also, something else interesting about Jhin is that he almost wasn't even Ionian due to his use of guns in fear of Asian historical context. But Rioter Bobo, sick name by the way, really pushed for it and it eventually got passed. Did you know that the best gaming browser, Opera GX, and today's sponsor has partnered with Riot to give away exclusive Hextech chests and keys during the world's final? And all you have to do to get one is just watch the finals on LOL Esports with the browser and look for the notification to appear in the top right corner. On top of offering free giveaways, Opera GX is definitely worth checking out too because it's literally a browser with a built-in app blocker, a built-in VPN, and right now you can even get 2 months of their VPN Pro for free using this code, which unlocks 3,000 private servers in 30 countries, among a bunch of other perks as well. Additionally, one of the coolest things as a League player with Opera GX is you can now customize the browser with League of Legends themes, including champion themes in the browser as well. I mean, look at all these different options, and it even has a specific area dedicated to tracking all major events, including Worlds, of course, and its schedule all in one spot. Just make sure to install one of the League mods by going to the GX store, installing, and then head to GX Corner to see it. Lastly, don't worry about how much of a pain switching browsers can be because it can easily sync all of your history, bookmarks, and everything else from your current browser for a seamless transition. Just go to settings, hit sync, and then import. Anyways, make sure to download Opera GX using my link below. Thank you, Opera GX, for sponsoring this video, and now back to the video. In 2015, there was an internet cafe in China that put a huge statue of Garen outside of their building, which I guess is pretty cool in itself, but what really caught people's attention was when a lady started praying to it. And not only did she start praying to the Garen statue, but she even started lighting candles for it too. A lot of people were speculating that she may have mistook him for a deity named Lord Guan, a legendary Chinese general, which is probably the most likely explanation, but there's still the possibility that I'm holding on to that she was actually a Garen main just trying to get out of loser's queue. And honestly, both make perfect sense to me because sometimes it just be like that. Like with this guy, for example. You see, in 2016, a pro player named Naehyun started his career outside of Korea by losing not 5, not 10, not 20, but 31 consecutive pro games. His infamous streak started on a team called Team Kung Fu, losing 17 straight games in a row, and then he moved on to another team called Origin in the EU, who would also go on to lose 16 more games in a row. And it wasn't until week 7 in 2017 in the EU spring split that he finally won his first game, and even the casters were excited about it.
Origin win their first game of the 2017 season!
And Naehyun won his first game, Trevor! It actually happened!
Okay, we've seen some really weird things in pro play over the years, from people tilting, to people trolling, to even people calling timeouts to go to the bathroom.
I mean, when you gotta go, right? Nature comes first. Toilet issue. Are you serious?
But one thing we haven't really seen before is when someone just doesn't show up entirely, until now. In the Legends Ascend South Asia tournament, there was a game where a player was apparently having technical difficulties, and normally in big pro leagues, a 4v5 just strictly isn't allowed in the rules. However, since this was a completely different league and newer, they actually let them play the 4v5.
I guess play this 4v5 madness?
Now, as you might have expected, they did end up losing. However, in the second game, they were actually able to get their 5th player back, but still ended up losing anyways. Actually, they almost did better in the first game than the second game. But either way, I think this is the first time this has ever happened in modern league pro play, which is kind of crazy. Did you know that if you were to take a coin and flip it 10 times, you would be more likely to hit heads 10 times in a row than see another Skarner skin be released? And I'm not even exaggerating. Skarner was released in August 2011, and during that time, he received 5 skins, giving him currently a 0.096% chance of getting a new skin, or 1 in 1,038 odds. While the odds of flipping a heads 10 times in a row is 1 in 1,024. Also, on an even darker side, you're almost more likely to drown in your lifetime than see another Skarner skin too, as the odds of drowning are 1 in 1,073. In the last month, this guy was only played 80,000 times, the lowest out of any champion. And to put that into perspective, the highest played champion was Caitlyn at 2.5 million times played. So yeah. Did you know that Hecarim uses the most pings per game out of any champion in League at an average of 42.8? Jarvan's a close second at 42.6, and Lee is a close third at 42.3. On the flip side, Alawi uses the least at 19.5. Did you know that the only champion in the game to not even average 1 kill is Soraka at 0.9 average kills per game? On the flip side, Samira's ratio is 10.5. Currently, the most popular League profile icon in the game is the Black Rose Remembers icon from the Trials of Twilight Act. But normally, it's actually the iconic Debonair Rose icon. Now, why should this matter to you? Well, first off, it probably shouldn't. That's kind of the whole point of the video. But second off, it's actually because people who use the Black Rose Remembers icon only have a 49.83% win rate. But people who use the OG Rose icon have a 50.5% win rate. This really just does solidify that it really was never you losing the games. It was your icon losing the entire time. In the lore, Fiora's house name is Laurent, which is actually a reference to Nicolas Laurent, the former CEO of Riot Games. Funny enough, Nicolas said he had no idea this was even in the game for years until he randomly found it during the production of Runeterra. The Rioter who made that decision, Alexis, said he chose that surname without even telling him because he was the only French person he knew. Everyone who's played League of Legends at some time or another has come across some kind of toxicity from players in this game. Whether they're flaming you for dying or calling you names, I think people are pretty used to it by now and even brush it off for the most part. However, that wasn't the case back in 2014 because back then there was a man in Taiwan who called their teammate this, which literally translates to brainless, but I guess it also is seen as mentally retarded. And for that, he was punished for not just being muted, but he was even sent to court and convicted of defamation. You really just can't make some of this stuff up. The defense claimed that an online account isn't privileged to the rights of an individual, and the judge ruled that with modern technology, online accounts are an extension of individual identities and therefore have the same rights. So for his disgusting crimes, he was detained for 30 days and fined. Look, I'm not an advocate for calling people not nice things in League. In fact, I'm pretty against it for the most part. But if these laws were passed upon everyone evenly, I'm pretty sure that 99% of the player base would be locked up right now. That one poor dude really bit the bullet. But anyways, moving on. A lot of people assume that when Riot updates or reworks a champion, it's to keep them fresh and new, which is true a lot of the time. But for Mordekaiser, there was a bit of a different motivating factor, and that's that the champion sucked. And not like the low win rate kind of sucked, but like this champion just is straight up broken. At some point, the old Mordekaiser had over 180 active bugs, and it was basically at the point where it was literally easier to just delete the champion entirely and start from scratch. It's too bad because he was pretty fun to play though. Also, side note, during development of the new Mordekaiser, there was actually a time he could explode off his armor, revealing a twisted black iron skeleton underneath. I have no idea what happened to that, but it was there. Puppy, subscribe, thank you. Did you know that out of all the champions, Yorick actually has the highest win rate on ARAM at 54.7%, and the champion with the lowest rate on ARAM is actually Akali at 42%. That's actually insane. Also, Misfortune is the most popular ARAM champion at a 13.2% pick rate. This is a very minor and random detail, but did you know that super minions drive their bots differently depending on if they're red or blue? For example, red super minions appear to drive their bots with magic, with some kind of magic ball or something, and blue super minions tend to drive their bots with gears. I know, it's really important, so you're welcome. Did you know that a few years ago, ESPN actually picked up esports, but quickly realized it wasn't a great decision to stream a game with commercial television? Because when it came to gamers, if people had a choice between TV or Twitch and YouTube, I think it's pretty obvious which ones we're gonna choose. It was a good attempt though. Did you know that there's a League of Legends challenge called a Brush Fanatic that's a reference to the Team Fnatic, since they were known for always hiding in bushes, especially in the early days. In fact, in the really early days, it was known as the Fnatic Death Brush. Did you know that out of all the champions, Pyke actually has the highest chance of getting first blood at 40%? And surprisingly, Azir has the lowest at 7.4%. I definitely expected it to be like Yuumi or something, but she's actually a lot higher up. Did you know there's only one champion that hasn't been picked in pro play this entire season? And that's surprisingly Fizz. I feel like out of all the champions, that's also not who I'd expect. Even Teemo has been picked 3 times. The highest picked champion, on the other hand, is Rel at almost 2,500 picks. Did you know that for one of the jobs at Riot, specifically being on the game analysis team, one of the job requirements is that you actually have to be at least Diamond 4. It's technically an entry-level job and actually said to be a good way to get your foot into the gaming industry if you're interested in that, but you do have to be D4 or above. Imagine finally getting through school, seeing a job opening, but not being able to apply because your League of Legends rank isn't high enough. having to grind for a chance at your job is kind of brutal. This is a listing that's obviously for Valorant, but it's pretty much the same idea, and the only difference is that they're just asking you to be Radiant with some kind of professional experience instead. But you get the idea. The other day, this guy tried to buy some RP through the client, and it led him to some charter school called Mission Vista Academy. Maybe we're all just paying for a degree that we don't even know about, or maybe we're just secretly funding people's education as well. Maybe the $500 RE skin we bought is actually going to a good cause. Either way, it's pretty freaking weird. It pains me to say this, but it finally happened. No Life Finn is no longer the person with the highest level in League of Legends. As of now, that title belongs to Manuela, who currently is at level 5,315. And according to Wasted on League, he or she has spent almost 3 million minutes playing League of Legends, which is almost 50,000 hours or 2,061 straight days of playing League of Legends. In that time, they could have also watched over 28,000 movies. And honestly, I think it's still hard to put into perspective how much time 50,000 hours is. I mean, on average, they say it takes about 2,000 hours to become fluent in one language. So he could have learned 25 different languages during this time. But you know, highest level in League of Legends is pretty sick, so nice. Here's an updated chart of the current rank distribution, and gold and silver are still by far the most popular. It also shows how insane it really is to be a challenger player or even grandmaster. And if you think that's rough, it's said that the odds of going pro in League is roughly 0.01%. And to put that into perspective for you, you have 4 times better odds to become a professional baseball player than you do a League player. So good luck out there. Did you know that Faker has 9 skins in the game? SKT1Z from Season 3 Worlds, SKT1 Rise from Season 5 Worlds, SKT1 Syndra from Season 6 Worlds, Immortalized Legend Ari from Hall of Legends, Risen Legend LeBlanc from Hall of Legends, Risen Legend Ari from Hall of Legends, T1 Oriana from Season 13 Worlds, T1 Yone from Season 14 Worlds, and Prestige T1 Silas from Season 14 Worlds. In other words, this dude has more skins than over a third of the League of Legends champions in the game. They honestly might as well just make him a champion at this point. He probably has more lore than some of them as well. At Chaco. A few months ago, this guy figured out how to play League on a 3DS. I mean, I haven't seen one of these in years. Apparently, he found a way to stream the game from his PC and use the controllers on the 3DS, but it's still pretty impressive. And it's impressive on how well it looks like it's working. Ironically, this is among some of the less weirder things I've seen people play League of Legends on. Like the German YouTuber Maxim has tried playing on things like blocks of ice. Just die! Or even a barcode scanner. Oh, the combo! Woo. Honestly, it's just impressive to me that he gets these things to work in the first place. And lastly, do you know what Zyra's favorite drink is? It's root beer. I mean, it's not actually root beer, but it should be root beer because you get the roots and... Okay. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider hitting that sub button. If you got any info, feel free to email it to outsidejokelol@gmail.com. A massive shout out to all my supporters and patrons. Like, seriously, thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time. All right, bye.